Man, I've been fishing before, trying to put a hook on the end or trying to get a fish off or whatever. Boy, that hook goes in the skin. It is not a good experience. We were talking this morning about some stuff, and you were saying there's issues and there's hooks in us that we've got. And you talked about income addiction as an external or as a hook in the soul. Talk about this idea of income addiction.
Well, it's a whole big concept, but a lot of us get trapped. Well, first off, let me back up before I even talk about the income addiction. If you want to be successful, you've got to be responsible. You got to be in a place to where you recognize it's me and not you. It's me and not anyone else outside of me. It's my responsibility. It's my life to live the best way that I know how to live. Income addiction is the people in the planet that, and it's mostly Americans. I don't know about outside countries, but most people that go, if I had more, I would do better. And if they paid me more, then I could do more. And it's this reverse mentality, right? Because the market pays you the value that you can produce for the market. The market pays everybody the value that it can produce for the market. If you increase your value to the market will respond in like manner, and it will pay you more. But a lot of us, especially in corporate America, we have this mentality that my income determines how much I can actually do, instead of realizing that I can do as much as I possibly choose to do, right? And then the value will show itself up. So if a raise could change your life, then the last one would have done it.
Yeah.
Right? But most of us are sitting on the sidelines going, if I could just make more money, if they would pay me more money. Jim Rohn said it. You know, I told you all the story this morning, but I'll tell it for this audience. The Jim Rohn said his mentor was having a conversation with him, said, well, what's the problem? Why don't you have more? Why aren't you farther down the road? And Jim Rohn's response was, my company just doesn't pay enough. And so his mentor says, well, is there anybody in the company that makes more money than you? And he said, well, yeah, there's some people that make more money. So the problem isn't that the company doesn't pay enough. They just don't pay you enough. Right? And
he said, how he said that. They just don't pay you.
Yeah, that's right. They don't pay you enough, right? So the problem isn't the company. The problem then is you. Yeah. And the problem really is the value that you're bringing into the marketplace is not enough for you to raise the bar. And then, you know, people live on incremental raises here and there and all this other things. But I've never seen anybody get the raise and it changed their world. It just never happened. So the hook in all of this is, if you will take responsibility and understand that when you change, the world will change. Everything will change when you change. And if you can settle in that and respond to that properly from the inside out, then the hooks of everything outside, whether it's a raise, whether it's a promotion, whatever it is, the hooks of external will let you go. When you can just look in the mirror and go, the only one responsible is the person that looks back at me every day. That's the guy or the gal that I need to deal with. It's not, you remember an old church song? It's not my brother or my sister, but it's me, oh Lord. Yeah. That's it right there. When you can catch that in the financial arena, when you can catch that internally, you let go of the hooks. I don't need a raise. I don't need a promotion. I don't need a better this. I don't need a different that. I don't need a different country. I don't need a different company. I don't need a different tax bracket. I don't need anything different. I don't need to wait on the government. I don't need to wait on an inheritance. All I have to do is, when I change, the world will change as well. So when you catch that, you become the responsible party for everything in your future, right? Forget about what happened yesterday, but tomorrow belongs to me, and that's the hook. The hook releases when you become responsible, period.
Well, we talked about it a little bit this morning, the idea of being people that are entrepreneurs. You pretty much don't have a choice, because you've got to elevate in order to be able to carry that. And from the starting point, the mentality is already on the entrepreneur. I've got to do this. Why do you think most people work for someone else and then that's not the right question. Why do you think most people that do work for someone else also gravitate to that mentality that it's an external, not on them. What do you think is natural about that causes people to do that?
It's easier. It's 10x easier to blame you for my predicament. It's just
Hurts less too, I guess.
Yeah, it's just way easier, right? If they would do better, then I would do better. And it's just always easier, right? It's always easier to not be the responsible party. And I don't care how old you are, how young you are, or how gifted you are. It's just easy not to be the responsible party. And so it's always easier for me to blame it's easier for me to blame my wife for our issue, right? It's just easier, right? Like dealing with Darrin is tough work. Dealing with the hooks in my own heart and soul is tough work. And not everybody has the fortitude to dig into that, John. Not everybody has the stamina that it takes to keep looking yourself in the mirror and go, hey, man, this on you. You're the responsible person and party, and nobody else can fix this stuff. No, it doesn't matter if you have, well, I'll trade this wife in for somebody better. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be the same person. And when you get down to that, oh, I'm going to trade this job in. I found a better job. It doesn't matter externally. Never take a job for what you gain. Take a job for what you become. And that is where it all begins, where I'm here. And I've taught my girls this. I said, it's not about the money, right? My little Kayla, my middle girl, is working at a place around the corner. And I go, tell me why you're there, right? Tell me why you're there. If it's about the money, I got plenty of money. You don't need to do that. You got to be becoming something that you were not before. And when you understand that, the responsibility comes from outside in. It's easy to hook responsibility outside your realm, outside your sphere. And if I get into religion, we hook it on to God, and it becomes God's responsibility and God's scenario. And if I pray more, if I do better, if I act better, if I act different, then God's going to bless me. And when you stop all that, and realize that God, here's what Deuteronomy 8:18 said. God gave you the power. Remember the Lord thy God, because he gave you the power to create wealth. He never said, I'm coming to create wealth for you. He said, John, I gave you the power to frame and forge wealth so that I can establish my covenant. Here's what it means. I'm establishing the wealth covenant through you. But if your hands are idle and you keep blaming everybody else, then my covenant gets stalled because you didn't do the job that I sent you to do. So wealth comes from the inside out. And when you understand it, then you stop blaming external pieces for what they're not doing. And you start accepting the responsibility inside that what I've got to do is take care of me. If I change, the world outside me will change as well. That is the bottom of all of this teaching. That's it. When you are responsible enough to take it on your own shoulders and go, it's on me, it's not on thee. I'll get it done. And no matter what happens, and so like I said this morning, I had to get to the place for me personally where I understood what God has for me is for me. And nobody can stop it, and nobody's going to bring it to me. Two things. Nobody can stop me from getting it, but nobody's going to come put it on my front doorstep either. I've got to go get it. And that part is on my back. So I've got to become the person that's, number one, can get to the blessing that's deemed to be mine. But then number two, can manage it and steward it properly.
Yeah.
Right. So then only thing that I've got to fix in this whole entire planet, the only thing I've got to work on the whole entire planet is making sure that Darrin gets 1 inch better, 1 foot better, 1 meter better, over and over and over again.
Well, and then that ties into so many times we say it's the who, not the why.
Yeah.
Most everyone wants a strategy.
Yeah.
Including me. I mean, because
we all do this.
I don't know. I could give it an excuse. I would say, I think it's the way my mind frames. I'm trying to figure out a way to systematize something. But really, it's easier, I guess, too, because then you also have I got the wrong system. It's not me either.
Yeah, it's just an outside hook. It's a constant outside hook. And a lot of people take your scenario one step further, and they go, well, if I wasn't in this company, I really could flourish. Right? Take it anywhere. Take it to professional football, professional baseball, professional basketball, whatever the case may be. And the guy goes or the gal goes, well, if I played on a different team, I'd really be a superstar. It's this team. No, that's a bad concept, right? And then, well, if I had married the right person, then I'd be, no, man, no. Look in the mirror. For the only thing that you can change in this life, the only thing that you can change in this life is yourself.
Yeah.
And when you settle that and you recognize I'm the one that's in the driver's chair and I've got to drive, I've got to direct this ship. God's not coming for me. There's no safety net. It's on me to be. Now, God is going to partner with you, but he gave you the power to create the wealth. You've got to go do it. And then he said, I'll establish for you and I'll help you, but you've got to be in the going. That's where it all begins and ends right there.
Was there a time or place in your life that maybe clicked more than others? I mean, I know you kind of been this person, this mentality most of your life, but you've also talked about a journey of your mind shifting a lot. Was there a season or something where this really landed hard?
Yeah, man. It's probably been 20 years ago that I really caught the lesson. I don't know where I was at or who was teaching it or anything else, but it was just one day, John, I just recognized I've got to take responsibility for everything in my world. And I mean everything, the good stuff, the bad stuff, the indifferent stuff. It's mine. It's all mine. And when that landed in my heart, I let go of outside hooks, man. I just kind of let them go. And no matter what anyone did or no matter how good a scenario was outside or how bad a scenario was outside, I began to recognize it's mine to do. It's me. It's just me, right? And I have this weird kind of belief set, and you've heard me talk about, some stuff with patterns and breaking patterns and all those things. I realized that all the old ugly patterns of my life and my history and my family and all that stuff, they're just learned behaviors. Now, there's maybe curses and hooks, and I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I just learned how to break those patterns, and I said, well, I'm not going to blame my father and my mother and their father and their mother. I'm just going to take the responsibility on my own shoulders. And if I'm living a way that I shouldn't be living or that I don't want to live, shouldn't, whatever, I just don't want to live this way. I don't want to be in this broke mentality anymore. Then it's mine to change. It has nothing to do with what they taught me, good, better, and different. Right? And I let go of them, right? That's the place where you can start to let go of the people that you thought, quote unquote, should have given you more than they did, right? Whoever that is, whoever that is, I wish they would have if they would have just given me more opportunity, if they would have just given me more wisdom, if my dad would have left me $100 million, I'd have been in great shape too. When you let go of all those external hooks and then you can look back and go, well, they did the best they knew to do with what they had.
Yeah.
But now it's on me to do the best I can with what I have. And so if you're hearing this today, then it's on you. Like you clicked this because you needed to hear this, and it's on you. If you will begin to just be responsible enough to say, it doesn't matter how that came about, it is what it is, and now the change begins. That is when everything can change for you. It changed for me. It's changed for the people around me. If you'll just take that responsibility and say, I've got to become in order for things to change. I've got to become different. I've got to become better. I've got to become wiser, smarter, all of these things. When you do that, life will change for you, period.